Welcome into another telecast of LMC Varsity Sports. I'm Charlie McGraw. We're here at Post Gym at Mamaroneck High School for our first ever fencing match as Mamaroneck gets set to host Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Mamaroneck is 1-0 with a victory over Rye Country Day, and Fair Lawn is 3-0 in dual meets, and they are a powerhouse in New Jersey. When we get back, we will have the first matches here on LMC Varsity Sports. So we're underway here at Post Gym at Mamaroneck High School, alongside cameraman and community sports producer Rob Moretti. I'm Charlie McGraw, and you will see first match epee, as off to an early lead in the epee match is Fair Lawn. The Cutters are 3-0 in dual meets against Mamaroneck. (2-1) right now for Fair Lawn. And now 3-1 Fair Lawn. 3-2 Fair Lawn, as that point was won by Mamaroneck. 4-2 Fair Lawn. (5-2) in favor of Fair Lawn. And they'll take the first match there of the epee competition, which will be combined into the Saber and foil competitions, and we'll be back with the next one. Second round of epee will be Jackson Bianchi for Fair Lawn. No points on either one. One was (3-0) Mamaroneck. So that one, a good play to avoid the fence and then get the point himself, and that was another one where it was a stalemate. And Mamaroneck will get that, and they'll take that one. I think 5-0 was the score of that epee. As Jackson Bianchi from Fair Lawn fell to Mamaroneck. And it was Kai Kinsman from Mamaroneck who won 5-0. in the epee. So Kai Kinsman gets the first win from Mamaroneck, so it's 1 point for each team overall now. Cumulative score, it's 10-7. We'll be back with the next one here on LMC Varsity Sports. Now we have, back here on LMC Varsity Sports, now we have dual epee and Saber. As coming into this, it was 7-5 Mamaroneck after the win by Kai Kinsman, 5-0 over Jackson Bianchi. And the epee won to the right. Point there, 3-1 in favor of Fair Lawn, as a timeout taken by Coach Dr. Cal Schlick for Mamaroneck, and that one was a stalemate. Point for Fair Lawn. Fair Lawn won the match on the left, 5-1. 5-4 in Saber. So it's now 11-10 Mamaroneck. Fairlawn won that as well in the epee. Foil here on the left of your screen and right epee will about to be started, as on the left the foil, no points yet for either one as the epee starts. Point there from Mamaroneck, Julian Deak, as Deak loses that one 1-1. The epee from Fairlawn, New Jersey High School is Mark Umansky foil. Listed as foil, but in the epee. Yeah, Mark Umansky is doing epee, even though listed as foil on the Fairlawn roster. It's a reset and a timeout on the foil side. 2-1 Fairlawn for the epee for Mark Umansky, junior. Epee, 2-2 now. First of 5 wins. There's also on the other side of the gym will be the girls competition, but we only have one cameraman, so we're just doing showing the boys here on TV. We can get you the scores though of both competitions. (4-2) Fairlawn on the foil side. A bit of a stalemate here with Mark Umansky and the Mamaroneck. Mark Umansky wins there 5-2 over Mamaroneck Stephen Solid. So Fairlawn will take that one. 4-all here. This one is won by just Julian Deak, who yelled in celebration after taking that one to Julian Deak, 5-4. And a last second win there, and Deak yelled out in celebration, channeling his inner Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal, a very exuberant tennis player out there. As we get ready for the epee, which will be next. As Julian Deak, after his win, is chatting with the one and only Keith Geiser, Mamaroneck super fan, here at fencing today. As he pumped up about the basketball team, who are 6-2 now, Mamaroneck High School, after their win over Scarsdale yesterday. As we'll have the next epee, as official is now ready, and it'll be we'll start at simultaneous times here, epee and foil. Actually, Saber, excuse me. And came very close to each other. Neither one got a point there, as that was a very close one to the left, on the left side of your screen. Epee, point each squad. Mamaroneck got that one 1-1 now. Referee. In fencing, the referee used to be called the director or president of the jury, but now it's just the referee. So I guess as the referee restarts here with the epee, and that one is 1. 2-1 now for Fairlawn. As they have to stay on the black mat. They do. 2-2. Quick point tried to be won there by Fairlawn, but to no avail. Still 2-2. That scoring tablet is out of sync. It's not working fully for the epees. Mamaroneck will have here the advantage, and he will lose it though. Point to Fairlawn. 3-2 in favor of Fairlawn. And the Saber for Fairlawn. Justin Perez wins that. 1-0 for Fairlawn. And to the left, to the right though is 4-2 in favor of Fairlawn. Mamaroneck has to stay alive here, and they get just get that one. 4-3 in favor of Fairlawn. 4-3 here in this epee battle, and Cutters will get that one. Fairlawn take it 5-3. Fairlawn is up in the overall match as well. 1-0 Fairlawn to the left. In the Saber competition. As the Saber and foils on the left have the advantage of the electronic scoring, but the electronic scoring is not working for the epee, so they're not able to do it that way on that one. Have to do it the old school way, by rule of the referee, as Fairlawn's Nicholas Held, sophomore, righty, will go first, as Coach Dr. Cal Schlick will talk to his fencer, who trails 3-1 on the left side of the screen here in Saber. (3-1) after the timeout, they'll resume. Held already has 2 for Fairlawn. Justin Perez just got point number 4, so Coach Dr. Cal Schlicks will have to not work on that one, and it'll be 4-5. Held has 1 there. The electronic scoring back to working on the epee part of the competition. Held sweeps that one. Nicholas Held 5-0 for Fairlawn. And that competition started a good 2 minutes after the one on the left, which is still at 4-1 in favor of Fairlawn. But that one is over, as Nicholas Held took that with a 5-0 clean sweep for the Cutters from Fairlawn. As the swords of the competitors is linked to a electronic scoring device that goes off if whoever hits their opponent first with the sword. His final score is 5-2 in favor of Fairlawn for the Saber. And the winner is Fairlawn for that Saber competition, as epee will be coming up next here, and we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports with our first ever fencing meet here at Post Gym at Mamaroneck High School, as the Cutters from Fairlawn, New Jersey come in to visit Mamaroneck. Cutters are 3-0 in dual meets, Mamaroneck 1-0, and Mamaroneck beat Rye Country Day in the boys dual meet. The girls fell though in that against Rye Country Day, and that one was won by Fairlawn, by Mamaroneck, excuse me, as the epee going next with Jackson Bianchi again for Fairlawn when we get back on LMC Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports as the fencing continues. Epee, and that will be Jackson Bianchi, sophomore. He's already competed. Second time he's going. And Bianchi is close to the camera for Fairlawn. And the Mamaroneck's competitor has the low socks on the other side. Point for Mamaroneck. (3-0) Mamaroneck. (4-0) Mamaroneck. Yachi in danger of losing once again. And Mamaroneck wins that one as well. 5-0. Back here for another epee battle. Point. Point to Mamaroneck. As equipment adjustment being made by the referee on the Mamaroneck fencer. 2-1 for Mamaroneck back in fencing. And as Fairlawn posts on your TV or computer screen, and also the Fairlawn fencer has bright red socks and sneakers on. Ref wasn't ready. Point for Fairlawn. 2-2 now. Nearly a false start by referee. 4-2 in favor of Fairlawn after they trail 2-1. Both fencers on their toes. 3-4 in favor of Mamaroneck. As an epee, you can win points by hitting any body part with a sword. As where in foil and saber, only a certain part above the waist and below the neck is where you can get the points for foil and saber. But epee, it's free for all basically. You can hit any part of the body and get a point. Like before, you saw that one hit the leg, and a huge comeback by Fairlawn. So they were down 4-2 there, and Heat won 5-4. Did Fairlawn, and we will be back with the next competitor here in epee on LMC Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, another epee duel here between Fairlawn and Mamaroneck here in boys fencing. One zero as 1-2 favor Mamaroneck. 2-2 there as Mark Umansky epee gets the point here. And another one for Mamaroneck though as they climb back ahead 3-2 in this one. Three now. Umansky 4-3 in favor of Mark Umansky and the Cutters. Fairlawn. As the referee was impressed with that one for Mamaroneck. This one will go down to the last duel, last sequence, and that as Umansky will take that one. Referee showing his sense of humor, saying it didn't count because he turned his back and was looking at the machine, but he was just kidding with him. As Umansky was doing the score between his epee duels, but takes that one 5-4 does Mark Umansky for Fairlawn. So 3 or 4 in a 3 in a row. 3 duels in a row won by Fairlawn. We'll be right back here on LMC Varsity Sports with some more epee battles here in fencing. Back here, epee duel once again between Fairlawn and Mamaroneck. At point won by Mamaroneck. Three points for Fairlawn. Point 4-0 in favor of Fairlawn. Fairlawn wins that one 5-0 in epee. We'll have another epee battle here on LMC Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, a Saber duel now, first in a while. On the left, here in boys fencing, Mamaroneck and Fairlawn, and both fencers jockeying for position. Mamaroneck with the first strike, and that'll be the exuberant Julian Deak, who won 5-4. Was very happy, yelled out after he won his match last time. Second time he's fencing today. The lefty Deak looking to Deak it away from the opponent from Fairlawn. Deak away as Nicholas Held, sophomore epee, is on the right. Match going on the right. for Fairlawn. Focus here on the Saber though, left side of the screen between Mamaroneck. It's 1-1 between the Tigers and Cutters, and Deak, that's Julian Deak. 2-1 Mamaroneck. Still 2-1. So that one was in Saber. He hit below the body, so that did not count. It would have been good in the epee, but that was not the case there in the Saber deck. Deak gets that one. It's 3-1 in favor of Julian Deak. Last time he won his match was 5-4. Deak one of the top and needs his sword adjusted. 2-3 in favor of Mamaroneck here. Deak. Still 2-3. It was a neutral. No point for either one on that one. Out. Deak gets that and goes ahead 4-2 here after the stalemate before that. And Deak will take that one 5-2 for Mamaroneck. As in that Saber battle. Back to the right now, we will have Nicholas Held's match for epee from Fairlawn against Mamaroneck. This is one of the longer ones we've seen today. 5-0 in favor of Fairlawn. Nicholas Held as
Nicholas Held beat Stephen Solid for the
Tigers, and have a foil on the left side of the screen. As Fairlawn once again closest to the screen. Smaller fencer is from Mamaroneck, wearing the black socks, and the white socks being worn by Fairlawn. As 1-1 for the foil. Two. Fairlawn and Mamaroneck in the foil. Three point each there between Fairlawn and Mamaroneck. Fairlawn fencer has a big height advantage on Mamaroneck's. It's not like wrestling where they have to both be in the same weight class. As Mamaroneck will get his sword fixed or changed there with Deak. As Deak giving him a couple pointers. He's Julian Deak. And 3-3 as we are back in action now.
the Sabers here on the left, Fairlawn, as Fairlawn's coach Eugene Packer walks over to watch his team and talk to his bench. For the meet, Coach Eugene Packer told me both teams, boys and girls, are 3-0 in dual meets this year. So that one was won by Fairlawn, 5-4. And we'll go back to the epee meet right before the finish. And Mamaroneck, I think, took that one. It's a close one, but I think Mamaroneck took it. And that was Kai Kinsman. Another win for him. Him and Deak, two of the only boys fencers for Mamaroneck, who were both undefeated in their 2 matches. As Fairlawn is winning the majority of them. Get you the score later for this match. Mamaroneck is 1-0, beat Ride Country Day in boys. And Fairlawn is 3-0 in dual meets in both boys and girls. So we will have the So it's 1-0 Fairlawn in this one. Saber match here. Post gym. That one will be won by Mamaroneck, 1-1. Official has a remote control that controls the clock, just clicking it every time a point is awarded to what team, but that was the clock that is functioning, and the points are working as the epee mat to the right where the epee duels are taking place was not working, and the official just was announcing the scores, but to the left the score is working on the table. That one won by Mamaroneck. And the score is 2-1 Mamaroneck.
No, sorry. What are you doing with this one?
And it is won there by Mamaroneck. (3-3). As that one will be won by Mamaroneck. And it'll be 4-3 in favor of Mamaroneck. Point for Fairlawn, 4-4 here in this Saber duel, final deciding point. Duel as Mamaroneck got the edge for a second. Fairlawn got it back, and we'll see who will take this final point and the duel, and it'll be won by the Cutters and Fairlawn, 5-4. That was a good duel there. As an epee match coming up next here on LMC Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, the final Saber bout, as it'll be a Fairlawn in the Red Sox, Mamaroneck in the Black Sox, and neither fencer with a point yet. As Dr. Cal Schlick, the head coach of Mamaroneck, will talk to the referee. That one was won by Mamaroneck, pressing the referee. Timeout taken by Coach Dr. Cal Schlick as the official was explaining. And we will be right back. As we are back, and that one will be won by Fairlawn. 5-1 in favor of Fairlawn. As we are back here with epee. As Mark Umansky, once again, junior fencing for the Cutters from Fairlawn. As it'll be Umansky not able to get that one in this epee battle, and Umansky will take all 3 of his matches now. He won 1 5-4, the other 5-3, and actually now he's up just 4-1 here. Timeout by Dr. Cal Schlick, who's trying to ice Umansky with his timeout. Moore give instructions to his fencer. As we are back and fencing. 4-all. Dr. Cal Schlick calling that a 4-all. Points for neither team. Looked like Umansky might have got it, but he too low though. Too low. Still 4-4. Is this referee really getting into his calls and explanations? As Mamaroneck's fencer missed that one. Umansky takes another one, 5-4 for Fairlawn. So he wins all 3 of his matches. And we'll be back next. Back here with another epee duel in white is Fairlawn, closer to your screen, and in the Black Sox, and the White Sox is Fairlawn, Black Sox is Mamaroneck. Here in this epee matchup between the Tigers and Cutters, and it'll be no points there for either team. Fault on Mamaroneck, or point for Mamaroneck. 1 point. Not able to get it there is Mamaroneck, almost though. Fairlawn nearly got that one, but is denied it by the referee. (3-0) in favor of Fairlawn. Excuse me, 4-0 Mamaroneck. It was 3-0, now it's 4-0. Favor of Mamaroneck over Fairlawn. (5-0 Mamaroneck). And we will be back with another epee duel next. Back here, epee. Jonathan Nicholas held for the Cutters. Two in favor of 3-0 Nicholas held, and Fairlawn won a previous match at both of his previous matches. Yeah, he won both of his previous matches, did held 5-0. Looking to do that again. Animated referee asking the Mamaroneck player why he stopped, or Spencer why he stopped there. Very entertaining. And 4-2. Warning Nicholas held not to touch the floor again. Point for Nicholas held, and he'll take it again for Fairlawn. And we'll be back next. We have a Saber duel here as Fairlawn and Mamaroneck once again. Fairlawn, Spencer in red socks, Mamaroneck in black. As this Saber duel, as Dr. Cal Schlick called another timeout. And back here following the timeout, Saber, one of the last Saber matches of the day. Pretty sure it is the final Saber match and final match for the boys competition here at Post Gym Fencing, as that was after a timeout by Dr. Cal Schlick. And (2-0) in favor of Fairlawn. (3-0) in favor of Fairlawn now. And Mamaroneck looking to get on the board in this duel. Point once again won by Fairlawn, and they now have a 4-0 lead in this match.
Get some footage. Get some footage.
that was won by Fairlawn, 5-0 in that final match. And we'll be right back with closing remarks here on LMC Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports. Saber match, final. One that we thought was the final one was not, as Coach Dr. Cal Schlick informed me. This may be the last one or second to last. One of the last ones, we can tell you that. 0-0 as Fairlawn will take a timeout as Julian Deak will talk to his teammate, and Fairlawn's fencers already changed out of his fencing outfit. We'll talk to his. Back here, following the timeout, Mamaroneck leading this Saber duel 3-0. Fairlawn called a timeout though. 4-1, first point for Fairlawn was won as simultaneously Mamaroneck won their fourth. Need one more to finish this one off. Point to Fairlawn, 4-2 now. And both fencers waiting. And waiting, still waiting. As Mamaroneck takes that one 5-2. 5-2? Actually 5-3, both players got a point there. 5-3, final score in that one. And may have one more left. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, we will have a foil duel here. And Mamaroneck takes the first 2 points quickly, 2-0 now, in favor of the Tigers against Fairlawn. And point for the righty from righty-lefty duel here. Righty from Fairlawn and lefty from the Tigers. As the other mat right next, and a couple feet away from this mat, and the gym is getting rolled up. There's only one mat remains. I think maybe this will be the last one. And it's 2-1 Mamaroneck. Lefty, righty, as instructions being given from the Fairlawn bench. Coach Dr. Cal Schlick doesn't like how the mat was rolled up, so they got to do it again. And it'll be 3-1 and a huge play there by Deak. Julian Deak looking for his 3-match sweep. Won his first one and yelled out loudly. Lefty Deak up 4-1, 5-1, and Deak wins 5-1. Julian Deak and back here on LMC Varsity Sports, final score was 14-13 in favor of Fairlawn over Mamaroneck in this boys fencing meet, our first fencing meet ever on LMC Varsity Sports. Mamaroneck just lost by 1 point as it was 14-13, and Fairlawn improves to 4-0, and Mamaroneck is now 1-1 in dual meets. A lot of people to thank for today's telecast, including the Executive Director, Eric Gross, Associate Director, Matt Sullivan, Community Sports Producer, and our cameraman, Mr. Rob Moretti. And for all of us here at LMC Varsity Sports, the final score was 14-13 in favor of Fairlawn over Mamaroneck in our first fencing event here on LMC Varsity Sports. I'm Charlie McGraw saying thanks so much for watching and have a great night.